All right. So I move this over like here. You can see Shelley, right? Okay, but I can't hear you. Why can't I hear you? All right, let's try it now. Bob, can you go ahead again?
Hi, Shelley. Good to see you.
Bob, good to see you also.
If you want to go ahead. Everybody, you're live, so you're okay to start.
Okay, Bob, Annette said we're okay to start, so if you want to call to order, then we'll call.
Good morning. This is Bob Harrison. I have the honor of serving as chair of the Personnel and Human Services Committee of the Berrien County Board. This is our regular Thursday morning meeting, and we welcome you to our meeting. So what I would like to do now is introduce, you've got Ray Bell and Mike Majeric, both members of the committee with me. Also in the room are Annette Christie, Shelley Jasper, and then Brian Doucette, the county administrator. So Shelley, if you could call the roll, please.
Commissioner Harrison.
Present via Zoom from Lincoln Township.
Commissioner Majeric.
Present via Zoom from Niles, Michigan.
Commissioner Bell.
Present via Zoom from the city of St. Joseph.
Mr. Chair, you have all three members present.
Great. So let's get on with our business. The first item of business for us this morning is approval of our minutes from March 4th, 2021. Do either of the commissioners have any corrections or adjustments they'd like to see made in the minutes?
I do not, and I'll make a motion that we pass the minutes.
And do we have a second?
Mr. Chair, I second that motion.
So a motion made by Mr. Majeric, seconded by Mr. Bell to approve the minutes as presented. So could we have a roll call, please?
Certainly. Commissioner Majeric.
Yes.
Commissioner Bell.
Yes.
Commissioner Harrison.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 3 yeas.
Okay, so the minutes are approved as presented. The next, we have several resolutions to consider. The first are the per diem payments for county board members in the amount of totaling $6,128. I believe we do a approval of this also, Shelley.
Actually, what you can do with the resolutions is you can go through them all, and then we can do a consensus motion to move them forward to the full board for action. And if there's anyone that you don't want to move forward, we could do that separately.
Okay, that sounds very reasonable. So any questions or discussions about the per diems? Everything looked to be in order from my perspective. Okay, I see Mr. Bell nodding. Mr. Majeric is pondering very closely, very seriously. So we'll move on then to the Health Department application for the Eagle Grant. And so is there anyone from Parks or the Health Department with us today?
No, but I can speak to that if that's okay with you. This is a standard annual type of grant application. This is to receive state funding for beach monitoring that our environmental health division of our health department does. So this is a standard annual request to apply for those funds.
Okay, the resolution seems to be straightforward, where we're the county board's approving the submission of the grant application to the state of Michigan. So any discussion about that, commissioners?
No, I read it and everything seems good.
Okay, it's the funding is in the amount of $10,000. Next, we'll go on to the Parks Department. We have the concession agreement, playground master plan agreement with, let's see, I was not familiar with the vendor. So it's DLZ Michigan Inc. In the amount of $9,000. Shelley, are you also going to comment on that for us?
Oh, actually, Brian's going to handle that one.
Oh, fine. I was going to keep that.
Well, if you want to do it.
Yeah, you're good.
Parks Department received bids at the last finance meeting. Finance referred the bids back to the Parks Department for their staff to review the bids. Brian and Jill have come back with a recommendation. They are now setting up a committee with DLZ's input on local officials to be engaged in the review process. That committee will be made up of county staff, Parks Board staff, and I believe they've also invited staff from St. Joe City Hall to have a seat at the table as they begin the review of the playground equipment and the concession stand. Annette, was there anything that you wanted to add?
No.
Okay.
Well, a question, will they have a member of the sheriff's department?
I thought I saw that, I think it's Boyce that was added to the list. To answer your question, yes, I don't recall which deputy was added to the list.
You know, I'm not worried about which deputy, but more just that the sheriff's department has a oar in the water on it. Okay.
Yeah, to the group, the background on this, and I know Commissioner Bell has been out and toured the site with our staff, but if you haven't been down there recently, we are quickly approaching essentially just the point of obsolescence for the equipment on the beach and for the concession stand. Everything down there is showing its age, and anything that you place onto the beach, unfortunately, it's in a sandblaster.
Sure.
And so there's just no keeping anything for multiple decades. Staff has done a good job of maintaining the equipment, but I can personally attest that the playground equipment is just reaching the end of its life. And the intent here is to come up with capital improvement plan. Once that plan is in place, then staff will be working on a plan to finance those purchases. And that could mean fundraising, it could mean millage dollars, it could mean grant applications. It's too early to tell how we're going to pay for this stuff, but before we can have that talk, we need to plan on what we want to place there.
Okay, makes sense. I know my two college students both played on that equipment, so that kind of dates it in my mind. So,
were they in college at the time?
no, I think they were just above the don't have to wear diapers anymore age. So that was kind of dates them. Any questions, Mr. Bell or Mr. Majeric?
No, I'm excited to see this plan going forward.
Great. Okay, if there's no further discussion on these three resolutions, then a motion would be in order to accept them and refer them on to the county board for action. Either of you like to make that motion?
Mr. Chair, I so move.
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye, or excuse me, we have to do a roll call. I apologize. I apologize. I'm a slow learner.
It's okay. Commissioner Bell,
Yes.
Commissioner Majeric,
Yes.
Commissioner Harrison.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 3 yeas.
Okay, so the those three resolutions are going to the county board yet, I believe yet today.
No, I think they're all scheduled for next week.
Yeah, for the
Okay.
18th.
All right.
If you can hang on just one second, I think I'm going to be able to load our room on, but it'll take me just a second to do that.
Okay.
And Mr. Chair, I inadvertently left off approval of pension refunds from the agenda, so we do have that agenda item also. And those
Could you
are,
say that again? I couldn't quite hear it.
Yeah, it's pension refunds that we'll have to do. Hang on just one second. I'm going to mute myself and the room, and then I'll get you guys loaded up here.
Okay. There we are.
There we go. Now I believe you can hear our room. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can. I'm good. So then this will be our last item of business, the pension refunds. And Shelley will explain that to us.
Sure. Yesterday I emailed the monthly pension refund request to you.
They're all standard. There are no vested employees, so these are simply employees that have left county service and are requesting the amounts withheld from their pension, from their payroll for pension purposes. Standard monthly operations.
So these are their personal contributions to the pension. And so these are basically their money's being refunded to them.
That is correct.
Okay, and so and we've got 3 different groups. We can do those all as one group?
Yes, just the pension refunds in general need a motion.
Okay. Any discussion, commissioners, about that? If
Nope.
not, could we have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion that we accept the pension.
Okay.
I said,
So we've got a motion to approve the pension refunds as presented and distributed to us. I did receive those and did go over them. Any further discussion? Then could we please have a roll call vote?
Commissioner Majerick,
Yes.
Commissioner Bell,
yes.
Commissioner Harrison.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 3 yeas.
Okay, so that refund requests are approved. And so next, are we ready for public comments?
Yep, I'm checking to see if we have any public comments out there for you.
How many people are watching this morning?
You have 5.
Okay.
I've asked a couple of times. I'll just give them a couple more seconds here to make sure that we get everybody. Just need longer. All right, seeing none, I don't believe that you have any public comments.
Okay.
I guess we could say that the finance committee meeting is going to start around 8:30 today, and then the full board meeting is at 10:30, and each of those will offer an opportunity for public comments again.
Okay, very good. All right, is there any other business for us to conduct this morning?
None from me.
Okay, then we'll adjourn the meeting so you guys can get ready for your 8:30 finance meeting. So I'm
Thank
sure
you.
that's fine with you. All right, well, thank you, gentlemen, and we will see, ladies, we'll see you later.